kababati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Good
Yeah.
afternoon, everyone. Hello, Tutor Well.
Hello po, Tutor Joy. Hello, Tutor Abhil. Welcome back po sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial. Kumusta po kayong dalawa?
Ayan, mabuting mabuti, Tutor Rowell. At isang biyernes na naman na panibagong pagkatuto ang ating matutunghayan kasama ang ating math kids, math coaches, at ang ating mga math business coach for this week. Hello din sa'yo, Tutor Avil.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao ETUlay learners. I miss you guys. Well, I just would like to take the opportunity, of course, to greet the BTG Philippines and all the international delegates who actually joined the GoPro training program. So have a safe flight travel later. Someone will go their flight tomorrow, so it's something like that. So better off to enjoy this last day in the Philippines. So again, thank you and welcome to DepEd ETUlay, guys. So paalam na muna ulit sa inyong dalawa. Good luck at bahala na kayo dyan. See you
Yes,
guys
thank you
Yes,
so
later.
much, Direk Abhil. Okay, so
fresh
this
from
time,
training yan, Tutor Rowell.
yes po, di ba? O ngayon, we have on another session this week. Okay, before we proceed, we go on, batiin po muna natin ang lahat ng ating athletes from Godofredo Reyes Senior National High School, San Mariano National High School, LFG Diamantina National High School. We also have athletes from Culiat High School, Antipolo National High School, Doña Magdalena High School, and Alibadabad National High School. We also have athletes from Banquero Integrated School. Okay, so again, I'm Tutor Roel from SDO Camarines Sur, your math coach and math 10. With me is, yes?
I am Tutor Joy Villarreal from SDO Caloocan City. So shout out po to all our learners, teachers, parents, and schools who are watching right now. Kung hindi nyo pa po na-share ang ating live stream, please do so sa inyong group chats at FB groups. Back
Okay,
to you,
so
Tutor
this
Well.
week, yes, this week, Tutor Joy, another lesson will be unlocked. Pero before yan, we also need to acknowledge, we need to feature those mathletes, math coaches, and schools who really did well last week. Sino-sino kaya sila?
Ayan, simulan na po natin, Tutor Ruel, sa ating first mathlete of the week. This is for quarter 3, week 5, and she's none other than Harchi Ramos Dansalan. She is from San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela.
Congratulations. We also have another athlete of the week, and he is Jovan C. Austria from Godofredo Reyes Senior National High School, SDO Camarines Sur. Congratulations, athletes. And also
Congrats,
we have
Jovan.
math coaches of the week. Sino-sino po sila, Tutor Joy?
Okay, our math coaches of the week are Ma'am Princess May Requinta from Godofredo Reyes Senior National High School, SDO Camarines Sur, and of course, Ma'am Marie Rose F. Robles from San Mariano National High School, SDO Isabela. Congratulations po mga ma'am, and thank you for your support. What about our Mathusay Schools of the Week, Tutor Roel?
Okay, as usual, our Math Husay Schools of the Week are Godofredo Reyes Senior National High School, San Mariano National High School, Ocampo National High School. We also have LFNG Diamantina National High School and Antipolo National High School. Next week, alam ko po madadagdagan ang mafe-feature natin na schools. Okay, so hindi na natin patatagalin pa. Tutor Joy?
Okay, so looking forward po kami na madagdagan pa ang ating mga awardees for next week. So for today, Tutor Roel, we are now on the 6th week of our third quarter lesson for Mathematics 10. And this will be about probability of independent and dependent events. So the previous week, natatandaan ko, Tutor Roel, ikaw po ang nagturo sa kanila. Let me just ask our ETUlay learners, no, ano ba yung topic natin last week? If this week we have independent and dependent events, ano kaya ang natatandaan nila last week? So let's have a quick recall. So of course, before we start, we would like to recognize and give the credits to our Cordillera Administrative Region for allowing us to use their module as reference. So we are now using quarter 3 module 31, the probability of independent and dependent events. So thank you so much po core administrators and faculty for allowing us to use your reference. And for today, these are the objectives, Tutor Ruel, that we have. First is
Okay.
to
Yes, may tatlo tayo. First one is to define independent and dependent events. Second is to identify independent events and dependent events. And lastly, ito yung gagawin natin, mathletes, and that is to solve problems involving probability of independent and dependent events. So, kung titingnan nyo, parang challenge, medyo mahirap. Pero again, along the way, we will guide you with Tutor Joy para mas madaling masolve or para mas madaling ma-attain yung objective natin for this session.
Of course, Tutor Ruel. And excited na tayong simulan yan. So let's start with our new lesson. But just like what I've told you earlier, let's just have a quick recall. So last session, during our week 5 topic, we discussed about the mutually exclusive events and the not mutually exclusive events. So keywords lang, mathletes. Always remember that when we're talking about mutually exclusive events, these are actually events that cannot occur at the same time. Hindi pwedeng mangyari ng sabay. So, another important characteristic is that these events have no common elements. But for not mutually exclusive events, Tutor Ruel, ano naman
Okay,
po
for
ito?
not mutually exclusive events naman, they can occur at the same time. And also, they have common elements. So again, pag exclusive, the elements are just for the given events lang. While not mutually exclusive, pwedeng for both events. Okay? So pwedeng parehong may elements yung both events na yon. Okay.
Yan. At sobrang importante, Tutor Ruel, na ma-recall tong mga terms na to kasi today we will have new vocabulary. So, of course, kailangang aralin para hindi tayo malilito. And of course, when we're talking about mutually exclusive and not mutually exclusive, check natin kung naaalala pa nila. Sige nga po, can you please type in our comment section, can you identify whether these events are mutually exclusive or not mutually exclusive events? If one card is drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards, what is the probability of getting a face card or a black card? Can you identify if these events are mutually exclusive or not mutually exclusive?
Okay, so ang tatandaan lang, if they cannot occur at the same time, yan ay mutually exclusive events. At the same time, if can occur at the same time naman, that is not mutually exclusive. So one card is drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards. So pwede bang magsabay na lumabas ang face card at black card? So if yes, what is it? Is it mutually exclusive or not mutually exclusive? Tingnan nga natin, Tutor, yung mga sagot nila. Sabi ni
Ayan,
Earl
meron.
Feathers, mutually exclusive daw po. Same with Rainiel. So ano kayang tamang sagot?
Kay Harchi naman, sir, not mutually exclusive. At kay Marinel Comahig. So let's find out. This is an example of not mutually exclusive events because they have common elements. We can actually get a face card that is at the same time black card. Ayun. Tama ba, Tutor Rowell?
Yes.
Ayan.
Ano yung face card na black card? So that is a spade and a clover, di ba po?
Yes.
Okay.
Yan. What about this? If we have a bag that contains 5 green marbles, 3 red marbles, and 4 white balls, if we're going to have a ball, if a ball is to be drawn from that bag, what is the probability that the drawn ball is red or white? Is this an example of mutually exclusive events or not mutually exclusive events? Can you please type in our comment section?
Okay, or in short, pwede bang makabunot ng bola na red and white at the same time? So, ganun lang naman. So, kung pwedeng makabunot ng bola na red and white at the same time, ibig sabihin, they are not mutually. Pero kung hindi naman, we have mutually exclusive. Okay,
Ayan, ang sagot
sabi
po
ni
ni
Archie,
Jovan.
mutually.
Ganon din po si Jovan at si PJ Sandagon Castro. And they are correct, Tutor Rowell. This is an example of mutually exclusive events. Ayan. Okay. At syempre, mahalaga din po na mabalikan natin kung ano po yung ginagamit nating equation or formula when we're talking about probability of mutually exclusive events. So, pag mutually exclusive events, we get the probability of A union B, tapos just get the sum of the probability of each event. But what if we have probability of not mutually exclusive events, Tutor Rowell?
Okay, if we have a probability of not mutually exclusive events, we will simply subtract the intersection sa sum ng dalawang probability ng dalawang events, di ba? Again, for the mutually exclusive, i-add yung dalawang probability. While for the not mutually exclusive, yung sum, babawasan nyo lang ng intersection. So, ganun lang kasimple. Now, how about our topic this session? Tungkol naman kaya saan yun, Tutor Joy?
Ayan. So, our new lesson is all about independent events and dependent events. So, let's find out first what's the difference between the two. So, tandaan mathlete, please take note. When two events are independent when the occurrence of one of the events does not affect the occurrence of the other event. This is how we define it. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang dalawang event, kung ang first event ay hindi maapektuhan ang pag-occur or pag-appear ng pangalawang event, then these two events are considered independent. They are independent to one another. Good examples of this will be this experiment. Turning up a 6 followed by a 2 and rolling a fair die twice. So you're familiar when you're rolling a die. So hindi maapektuhan ng first event na nag-appear ay number 6, yung second event na mag-a-appear ay number 2. And that is also true when we have this tossing of coin. Remember that when we're tossing a coin, there are two possible outcomes. It's either tail or head. So, an example of independent events, a tail showing up in tossing a fair coin. So, hindi naman, this is independent from an event that has head, with head as being appeared in the event. So, meaning, if a tail showed up, hindi niya maapektuhan yung second event na ang nagpapakita naman ay yung head. Okay, so that's for independent events. Muli, kapag independent, the occurrence of one of the events does not affect the occurrence of the other event.
Yes, tama po, Tutor Joy. So again, kapag turning up a 6 followed by a 2, yung probability na 6 ay lalabas ay 1/6. Yung probability naman ay lalabas ay 2, still 1/6. Hindi na apektuhan. Same with sa coin. Ang probability na lalabas ay tail ay 1/2. Same with head, 1/2 pa rin. So, di ba? Walang, hindi na apektuhan yung pag-occur ng other event as the other event occur. Di ba po? So, they are independent events. Now, how about dependent events, Tutor Joy?
So, if we have dependent events, two events are said to be dependent if the occurrence of the first affects the occurrence of the second, so that the probability is changed. This is how we define it in our reference book. So, kabaliktaran lang siya ng independent events. Kung kanina, walang effect ang probability ng first event dun sa probability ng second event, dito nagkakaroon ng pagbabago. One best example of this is this event. Let's say we draw a king of hearts and a queen of hearts from a standard deck of cards, and there is no replacement of the first card. So, paano yun, mathletes? Remember that a standard deck of cards contains 52 playing cards. So, kung halimbawa, bubunot ako doon ng king of hearts, ang probability ng event na yon ay 1/52. Tama? But, what if hindi ko ibabalik yung binunot kong king of hearts doon sa ating standard deck? Ilan na lang ang natira? There will be 51. Doon sa 51 na yun, bubunot ako ng queen of hearts. That's the second event. So, dahil hindi ko binalik yung king of hearts kanina, 51 na lang yung sample space, yung second event na kung saan bumunot ako ng queen of hearts, maaapektuhan yung probability niya. Magiging 1 out of 51 na lang yung magiging probability ng second event. So, those two events that we mentioned are dependent events. Naka-depende yung probability ng second event doon sa naunang event. Right, Tutor Ruel?
Yes. Very well said po. Again, sa dependent, nakadepende yung probability ng second event sa unang event. Dahil no replacement, hindi binalik yung card from 52, magiging 51 na lang yung sample space. Kung yung una, yung King of Hearts, ang probability ay 1 over 52, yung ikalawa, which is probability na Queen of Hearts naman, will be 1 over 51 na lang. So pag no replacement, ang magiging events natin will be under dependent events.
Yun,
Okay.
maganda rin pong keyword yon. Now, Tutor Ruel, let's have an activity. So, IE or DE. So, our mathletes will identify whether the given events are independent or dependent. Ayan. So, let's have the first one, Tutor Ruel.
Okay. For the first one, again, you will identify if it is an independent event, write IE. And dependent event naman, type DE. Okay? By the way, very good tutors yung mga mathletes natin kasi they responded 1 over 51. Si Earl Feathers, si Jillian, Ivan, Harchi. Okay, they are participating po for our online tutorial this time. Now, for this activity again, is it IE or DE? Ang mga sagot po nila, we have IE. Si Blevery, si Angel, si John, si Lujil Ann, si Arlene, Mark Ryan, Harchi, Rainiel, and Senya. Okay, what do you think, Tutor Joy, is the answer for question number 1 or activity number 1?
For question number 1, they are correct because this is an example of independent events. Yan. Hindi maapektuhan ng first event yung second event. So, yung una, 5 yung lumabas nung niroll niya yung die, and yung pangalawa, meron namang tail na nag-appear when the coin is tossed. Okay?
Yes,
Very
so in
good,
short,
Mathis.
parang magkaiba naman yung die sa coin. So, kahit anong probability yung lumabas sa die, okay lang, hindi maapektuhan yung probability in terms naman sa coin. Okay, how about the second example?
Ayan. Drawing 2 cards from a standard deck of cards, 1 card after the other without replacement. Will it be independent event or dependent event?
Okay, ano kaya yan? Independent ba yung dalawang events or nakadepende yung isa dun sa una? Again, nakalagay without replacement. Sabi po ni Mark Ryan and Jillian, dependent event. Same with Angelo, Jonard, Nagashley, Rayaninia, Arlene, Rona, Marinel, Joanne, Jesseline, Senya, Jerry, Erin. Wow, maraming sumasagot po,
Wow.
Tutor Joy. So, what do you think po?
Very active. Very good pa rin po ang ating mathletes, Tutor Ruel, because this is an example of dependent events. Bakit po siya naging dependent event? Or dependent events? Kasi when you draw 2 cards from the standard deck, kukuha siya ng 1 card, that's the first event, tapos kukuha na naman siya ng isa, pero hindi niya binalik ulit yung card. So, the second event will be affected, yung probability, because we have 1 less card from the sample space. Very good naman po palang ating mathletes, Tutor Ruel. Now, let's proceed. Yan, mukhang ready na silang sumagot. Okay, so if they are ready, they can now identify events whether they are independent or dependent. Let's find out if they can answer this problem. So, a drawstring bag contains 3 green marbles and 1 yellow marble. Ben draws a marble, then returns it in the bag, and then draw another marble. So, that's the situation. Now, the question is, what is the probability that the first marble is green and the second marble is yellow? Ano kaya ang magandang technique dito pag sumasagot, Tutor Ruel?
Okay, as you can see, we have a drawstring bag contains 3 green marbles and 1 yellow marble. So ang hinahanap is the probability that the first marble is green and the second marble is yellow. So pwedeng i-list down nyo muna. What are the given from the given problem? So again, hinahanap probability na first marble is green. So what is the probability na ang makukuha natin ay green? So ilan yung green? We have 3. Di ba po? Now, if we have 3 green marbles, ilan lahat yung number of marbles? So 3 green plus 1 yellow, we have 4 marbles. In short, for the event 1 na mangyari na makakadraw tayo ng green marbles, the probability will be 3 out of 4. Again, mayroong
Sure.
3 green marbles out of 4 marbles. How about event 2? Tutor Joy, paano naman yan?
Ayan, for the event 2, it's clear that we're talking about the activity or the event wherein we're going to draw a yellow marble. So, out of these 4 marbles na nasa loob ng drawstring bag, meron lang nag-iisang yellow marble. So, that implies that we have a probability of what? 1 out of 4 marbles. So, the probability of drawing a yellow marble is actually 1 over 4. So, ang ganda nung technique na shinare ni Tutor Roel, no? Identify first all the given information and then i-identify yung events. Now, it's also helpful, Tutor Roel, I think, to identify whether this situation is an example of independent or dependent.
Yes
Right?
po.
So,
Nakalagay
okay, so
kasi,
tanungin natin.
yes po, nakalagay, Ben draws a marble, then returns it in the bag.
Binalik.
Since ibabalik yung marble, so ibig sabihin, hindi maapektuhan yung second event, di ba? So this is an example of what? Okay,
Yan.
definitely an independent event. Dahil independent event siya, yung magiging sample size for the second event will be still 4. Kaya 1/4 pa rin. 1 out of 4 marbles, hindi 1 out of 3. Kompleto pa rin yung 4 na marbles. Tama ba, Tutor Joy?
Tama po. So, kompleto pa rin yung 4 na marble sa loob ng drawstring bag every time Ben draws a marble. And since this is an example of getting the probability of independent events, yung sinabi ni Tutor Ruel kanina, ito yun. Yung probability of an event kung saan yung green marble yung makukuha, that is 3 out of 4, natatandaan pa. And then yung second event, wherein the second drawn marble is yellow, that is 1 out of 4. So, note natin ito. Now, Sir Tutor Ruel, kanina sabi mo, no, ilista natin. We can actually also have this technique of listing down kung medyo maliit lang yung number. Tama po ba?
Yes po. Okay, ililista
Ayan,
lang.
so,
Nakalagay dyan. Again, we have 3 green marbles and 1 yellow marble. So, for the first row, what if ang na-pick natin ay isang green? So, G sub 1. Ang second marble na madodraw, it's either, again, pwedeng maulit yung green marble kasi ibabalik yung isa. So, it's either, again, G sub 1, G sub 2, G sub 3, or yellow sub 1. So, in short, nagkaroon ng 4 possible outcomes. So, what if yung nabunot naman natin ay the second green marble? And so on, hanggang ang mabunot natin ay the yellow marble. So, in short, we have a sample space of ilan? Ilan yung combination
ilan kaya,
ng
Matt Beats?
marbles?
Sige nga,
Ilan po yan, Tutor
identify.
Joy? Yes.
Ayan. So, you can see based on this pattern and based on this diagram that all in all, we have 16 possible outcomes, which means that the cardinality of our sample space is 16, Tutor Ruel. Now, kanina, no, meron tayong dalawang event. Yung first event, event A, sabi natin, ang situation doon is the event wherein the first marble drawn is green. So, ano-ano
Yes.
kaya yung mga yon? So, we can identify. So, highlight natin. Tingnan po mabuti. So, these are the favorable outcomes that satisfies event A. So, meron tayong 12 elements sa loob ng event A. So, ang lahat ng yan, ang first drawn marble ay kulay green. Pero paano kaya, Tutor Ruel, kapag event B na?
Okay, for the event B naman, ang instruction ay yung mabubunot ay yellow. So, how about this one? Alin kaya dyan ang mga elements under this? Sige nga. For the second event, probability na ang madodraw ay yellow marble. The second drawn marble is yellow. May 4 po tayo. That is
So,
G sub 1,
identify
Y
natin.
sub 1, G sub 2, Y sub 2, G sub 3, Y sub 3, and Y sub 1 and Y sub 1. So may 4 tayong combinations or may 4 na elements under this one. Okay, now what is next under that one, Tutor Joy? Ano na po yung sunod?
At dahil na-identify na natin what are the elements and cardinality of events A and B, balik tayo sa problem that we're asked, what is the probability of getting a green marble, yun yung first drawn, then followed by yellow marble. So, if we're talking about this, we are actually asking for the intersection of events A and B. At ilan ang elements na magsasatisfy doon? There are actually 3. Ano yung mga yon? Ito. Yung G sub 1, Y sub 1, G2, Y sub 1, G sub 2, Y sub 1 rather, and G sub 3, Y sub 1. How many elements? There are 3, which means that the cardinality of A intersection B is 3. Now, Tutor Ruel, when let's just highlight no yung line na probability of drawing a green marble in the first draw, replacing it, ibig sabihin binabalik, and then drawing a yellow second marble, actually corresponds to this notation. Yun yung hinahanap natin, the probability of A intersection B. And we can recall from our previous session or previous lessons that when we are asked to identify the probability of A intersection B, we simply get the ratio of what? The cardinality of A intersection B, and then the cardinality of sample space. Wherein in this case, na-identify na po natin eh. Ayan, sabi natin, the cardinality of our sample space is 16, while the cardinality of A intersection B is 3, which gives us the idea that the probability of A intersection B is simply 3 over 16. Final answer na ba yan? Yes, kasi naka-simplest form na siya. Now, Tutor Ruel, what does it imply? Ano po yung ibig sabihin ng 3 over 16 na nakuha natin?
Okay, so ibig sabihin, if we have 3 green marbles and 1 yellow marble, tapos bubunot tayo wherein dapat yung una, mabubunot mo ay green, tapos yung ikalawa naman ay yellow, ang probability na mabubunot mo talaga yon ay 3 out of 16. So that is the probability na yun ang mabubunot mo. Ngayon, as you observe, mathletes, listing yung ginawa natin, present po talaga yung mga elements. Kung mapapansin mo, tutor, parang ang hirap naman, di ba po? So, for this one, may mas madaling process or way para isolve ang ganyang probability. And that will be the next slide po. Okay, paano po siya isosolve ng mas madali? Okay, Tutor J, paano nga yun?
Ayan. So, tama po yun kasi listing kaya pa kasi small number. But what if we're talking about more events? Now, simply, probability of A intersection B can also be expressed or translated as, tandaan po ito, mathletes, simply multiply the probability of the two or the given events. So, we have here probability of A intersection B will be equal to the product of probability of A and probability of B. So, alam natin yung probability of A kanina, tama ba? Ito yun, no? Matatandaan natin, sabi natin, probability of A is 3 over 4, while probability of B is 1 over 4. So, since we are asked to multiply this, ganito lang po siya kasimple, mathletes. We simply multiply probability of A, which is 3/4, probability of B, which is 1/4, and we simplify, that is also 3 over 16. Mas madali, mas simple. Tama po ba, Tutor Ruel?
Yes, tama po. So, klaruin lang po natin ha. Last week, we have probability of mutually and not mutually exclusive events. So, ang ginawa, ang problem is about the union of two events. Or, so ibig sabihin, i-add lang natin yung mga probability nila. Pero under the probability of dependent and independent events, we will multiply the probabilities. Okay po? Sa mutually and not mutually, i-add. Pero under independent and dependent, we will multiply. Another one, if we will multiply fractions, baka nakalimutan nyo na mathletes, pag nagmumultiply tayo ng fractions, we will multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. So we have 3 times 1 is 3 and 4 times 4, 16. Kaya as you can see, pareho lang yung naging sagot. So again, yung shortcut niya, we will simply multiply the two probabilities. Kasi there will be problems na with that a short period of time, dapat masagutan nyo agad. So okay lang hindi nyo ilista. So yung shortcut niya, again, you will simply multiply the two probabilities. Tama po ba?
Tama, Tutor Ruel.
Okay.
And this first example is an example of getting the probability of independent events. So, hindi nagbago yung probability nung bawat event kanina. But what if we need to translate, what if we translate it into something that is having dependent events? Katulad nito, Tutor Ruel. Same materials, yung drawstring bag, nagko-contain pa rin ng 3 green marbles and 1 yellow marble. Magdodraw pa rin si Ben ng marble, pero this time, without returning the first drawn marble. So, Ben draws a marble without returning it in the bag and then draw another marble. So, the question is, what is the probability that the first marble is green and the second marble is yellow? So, obviously, Tutor Ruel, this is now an example of
Dependent events.
events that are dependent. Ayan, magbabago
Yes.
na. So, makikita po natin that the first event is drawing a green marble, while the second event, drawing a yellow marble without replacing the first green marble drawn. Ayan. So, paano ang magiging technique natin, Tutor Ruel, for this?
Okay. Yung process pareho lang nung independent event ha. So kukunin muna natin yung probability ng unang event. So remember, mathletes, may 3 green marbles and 1 yellow marble. What is the probability na ang madodraw natin ay green? Ilan yung green? We have 3.
Yan.
Ang denominator natin is the sample space. Ilan lahat yung marbles? We have 4. So in short, for the first event, we have 3 out of 4 or 3/4 ang probability. Now, how about the second event? Yellow. Remember, nakalagay without returning it. So ibig sabihin, kapag hindi na ibabalik ng isang marble, ang sample space natin na 4, mababawasan ng isa. So ang denominator natin will be 3 only. Ngayon, what is the numerator? Probability na yellow. Ilan yung yellow? We only have 1. So in short, ang probability na yellow will be 1/3. Hindi na siya 1/4.
Ayan,
Okay?
tama
Kasi
si
hindi
Marge.
binalik. Yes, hindi binalik. Kaya 1/3 na lang po yun. Okay. So what is next, Tutor Joy?
Ayan, after identifying the probability of each event, since sabi nga natin, same process lang, we're talking about the intersection of the two events. So, we will be applying the operation, which is multiplication. The only difference is that we need to identify the probability of each event. We need to be careful kasi katulad niyan, hindi pala binalik yung marble doon sa loob ng string bag after ng first draw, magbabago yung sample space ng ating event. So there will be, this can also be translated as probability of A and B, wherein yung B na sinasabi natin dyan, yan yung may pagbabago na sa probability kasi nabawasan na yung sample space. So simply multiply 3/4 and 1/3, and what is the result, mathletes?
Okay.
Sabi ni Tutor
Tutor
Ruel
Joy.
kanina, numerate. Apo.
Yes po. By the way, Tutor Joy, batiin lang natin yung mga mathletes natin. While we are discussing how to solve the given problem, they are really answering this. Diba? Sagot nga ni Catherine,
Wow.
1/4 si Desiree. Grace Ann, Warren, may sagot na 1/3 for the second probability. Now, we also observe na may sagot na sa given problem may final answer na po. May sumagot na ng 1/4 for the final answer. So si Jovan, tingnan nga natin kung
Ayan.
tama ba yung 1/4. Sige nga, Tutor Joy.
Tingnan natin kung di sila nalito sa fraction. Ayan. Tama sila, Tutor Ruel. The answer for this probability of dependent events is actually 1/4. So don't forget to simplify. So remember, probability of dependent events, if A and B are said to be dependent events, then we simply multiply the two probabilities or simply multiply the probability of each event, pero i-identify natin yung pagbabago dun sa second event, yung nakadepending event sa first event. Okay? Ayan po. So, sino po
Yes.
yung mga nakatama? Marami-rami sila,
Okay.
Tutor Rowell, ano?
Yes, si Catherine po tama, si Christian, si Earl, si Senya, Cedric, Trisha May, and Regina. Basta again, don't forget to simplify the answer. By the way, remind lang po ha, dito, nag-cancel out na lang. So, instead na i-multiply si 3 and 1 and 4 and 3, pwede naman na mag-cancel na lang po kung ano yung common in numerator and in the denominator para automatic lowest term na yung magiging final answer. Pero, pwede naman na hindi kayo mag-cancel, i-multiply pa rin. 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 twelves, ang lowest term niya, 1/4 pa rin naman. Okay po? Okay, that's
Ayan.
it
And
for
Tutor Ruel,
probability of dependent events. Okay po, very good ang mga mathletes
and
ngayon.
makikita ko, ay sorry, yung makikita
Yes.
ko yung nakikita ko yung comment section natin, Tutor Ruel. That's the reason why we have a lot of answers na 3/12, no? Hindi pa po siya na simplify kanina. Ayan. Marami pong sumagot ng 3/12. But let's not
Yes po.
forget to simplify the answer. Ayan.
Yes po. Tutor Joy, batiin po natin, nandyan si Teacher Jesseline Ehe. Very good daw math leads.
Hello
Wow.
po.
So, nanonood po si Teacher along with her math leads ngayon. Okay. Thank you so much po, ma'am. At also, binabati rin namin lahat ng math coaches na ini-encourage yung mga students po nila to participate in our ETUlay tutorials. Okay po? Thank you so much
Ayan,
again,
shout out
ma'am
po
and
sa
sir.
inyo. Ayan. And then let's have the last problem for today. Ayan, Tutor Ruel. We have here two activities, rolling a die and then drawing a card. So, sige po, Tutor Ruel.
Okay, for this one, mathletes, find the probability of 1 turning up in rolling a 6-face die once and drawing a letter card from a deck of 52 playing cards. Now, if we have these two events, is this dependent or independent? So as we observe, hindi maapektuhan yung second event ng first event. So in short, this is an example of independent events. So the two events are independent. Now, next step is we will find the probability of the two events. Unahin po natin yung sa die. So kapag ang die ni-roll, the possible outcomes will be 6. Ngayon, what is the probability na 1 yung lalabas? So that is 1 out of 6. Tama po ba, Tutor Joy?
Tama, Tutor Ruel. That's 1/6.
Okay. For the standard deck of cards naman, the total number of cards is 52. That will be the sample size. O ngayon naman, for the card naman, ilan po dyan ang letter card? Kung matatandaan nyo, ang letter card dyan ay yung A, Jack, J, Queen, and K. Yan, we have 4 letter cards. Tapos, it is divided into 4. We have clover, spade, heart, and diamond. So in short, 4 times 4, we have 16 out of 52. So again, for event A, which is event of 1 turning up when a die is rolled once, is 1 out of 6. While for event B naman, we have 16 kasi 4 times 4 is 16 out of 52 cards lahat. Now, since alam na natin yung dalawang probabilities, what is next, Tutor Joy? Ano po yung sunod natin gagawin?
Ayan, applying what we have learned earlier, Tutor Ruel, we simply multiply the probability of these two events because we are solving for the intersection of these two events. So, again, probability of A intersection B is also equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. Now, substituting now the values that we have 1/6, that's the probability of A, multiplied by 16/52, which is the probability of B. Ngayon, pwedeng, kung nalalakihan ng number, pwedeng mag-cancel out, mag-simplify muna tayo. So for example, here, mathletes, 16 and 6 can still be simplified. Ang common factor nila or GCF nila ay 2. So 16 now becomes 8, while 6 becomes 3. But you can also observe that 8 and 52 are also can also be simplified. So 8 and 52 have common factor which is 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, 52 divided by 4 is 13. So ano yung mga natirang numbers, mathletes? 1 and 2 sa numerator. So that is 1 multiplied by 2. And then sa denominator, 3 and 13. So that is 3 times 13. Now, may nakikita na akong sagot sa ating comment section, Tutor Ruel. Their answers
Yes.
their answer is 2
Okay, the
over
answer
39.
is 2/39. Tama po si Nagesh, si Princess, Trisha May, Pia Bon, We also have Jovan, James, John R, Drea Nina, Eileen, Gerald, Lujil, Jillian, okay, John Carlo, Trisha May, Earl, Catherine, Mary Jane. Marami po
Very
sila. Very
good.
good. Wow, nakuha nila Tutor
Nakuha
Joy.
na nila. Ang
Okay.
saya,
Now,
ang
what
saya
is
sa
next
feeling.
po?
Ayan. So, let's just interpret the result of this. So, 2 over 39 means that for these two independent events, 2 over 39 is the probability of having one or having one appeared from a die that is rolled once, and at the same time, nag-draw tayo ng lettered card from a deck of 52 playing cards. Now, Tutor Ruel, since alam na nila kung paano gagawin, mukhang ready na sila dito.
Yes, alam kong ready na. Na-miss ko itong itanong ulit sa kanila. So, mathletes, are you ready to take the quick check challenge? So, alam kong ready na po sila, Tutor Joy. So, let's get started. What is question number 1 po? For question
Ayan,
number
for the
1,
first
mathletes.
question, two
Okay, that
events
is?
such ayan, two events such that each event affects the occurrence of the other are called blank. Yan, fresh na fresh pa to, Tutor Ruel. Pakilagyan ng number and then your corresponding answer, A, B, C, or D on our comment section. Ready? Go! Two
Okay,
events
is
such
it-
that each event affects the occurrence of the other.
Okay, is it
Sige
A,
po, Tutor
dependent
Ruel.
events, B, inclusive events, C, independent events, or D, exclusive events? Sabi ni Harchi, letter A. Same with Jillian, Bleverian, Steffi Debris. Okay po. Ano kayong sagot dyan, Tutor Joy?
Correct answer is letter A. Very good. Dependent events. Kasi hindi naapektuhan ng first event yung occurrence ng pangalawa. Good job. Now, Tutor Ruel, question number 2 po.
Okay, for number 2, which of the following is an example of independent events? Again, independent events. Is it A 6 followed by a 2, turning up and rolling a die twice? Or B, we have getting a jack of clover first and then a queen of hearts in the second draw without replacement? Or is it C, drawing a black marble first and followed by a white marble from a bag that contains 3 black and 4 white marbles? Or letter D, ano po yung letter D? It's picking a numbered card first and followed by a jack if there is no replacement. So again, independent events. Hindi maapektuhan yung pangalawang event ng first event. Alin dyan yung independent? Is it A, B, C, or D? Sa pag-roll ng die, okay, what is the probability na 6? That is 1/6. Probability na 2, still 1/6. Hindi na apektuhan. So in short, the answer for number 2 is?
Letter A, Tutor Ruel. Ayan,
Yes
siguro may
po.
mga nalilito.
Okay, nalito. Medyo mahaba po kasi yung pagpipilian po natin. Again, for letter B, C at D, they are called dependent events kasi without replacement. Hindi ibabalik yung madodraw o yung mabubunot. Okay po? Yung letter A naman, okay, hindi naman kailangang ibalik kasi isa lang naman na die. Once you roll it, hindi naman maapektuhan yung second event. Okay po? So okay lang yung mathletes, nagkamali, okay lang po yan. How about the third problem? Tutor Joy?
And for the third question, the probability that a student plays basketball is 0.64. The probability that a student likes pizza is 0.35. Now the question is, what is the probability that a student selected at random plays basketball and likes pizza? Let's assume that the two events are independent. So is it A, 0.124? Is it B, 0.224? C, 0.422? Or letter D, 0.890? A, B, C, or D? Again, plays basketball and likes pizza. And we are assuming here that the two events are independent.
Yes po. So
A,
in short,
B, C, or D?
okay, in short, Tutor Jay, they will simply multiply the two probabilities. So again, you will multiply 0.64 and 0.35. So magmumultiply po kayo ng decimal numbers. So for this one, simply multiply 64 and 35. Then for the product, i-move yung decimal point 4 places to the left. Di ba po? And the answer for
Oh.
number 3, may mga sagot na po sila. Letter B. Lahat po ng sagot letter B. Tama po ba kaya? Yes,
Tama sila,
tama.
Tutor
Letter
Ruel.
B.
It's 0.224. Good job, mathletes. Now, for number 4, Tutor Ruel.
Okay, how about number 4? So, athletes, for number 4 po, we have find the probability of a tail and a prime number turning up in tossing a coin once and rolling a die once respectively. For this one, may dalawang events tayo. Magtotoss tayo ng coin tapos lalabas ay tail, tapos magro-roll naman ng die, lalabas prime number. So again, you need to identify the probability of the two events. For a tail, alam ko yung probability, alam nyo na yan. For the prime number naman, we have 2, 3, 5. May tatlo. Okay, so what is the probability? Is it A, 1/4, B, 1/8, C, 1/10, or D, 1/12? So again, yung i-multiply nyo ay para sa tail, 1/2. Para sa prime number, we have 3 out of 6. So, in short, 1/2 din. Oh, what is the answer, mathletes? May nagsagot po ng A, C, A. So, alin kaya dyan? Is it A or a C?
Okay, let's reveal, Tutor Ruel. For this, 1/2 times 3/6 is actually letter A. That's 1/4. So, 3/6, when simplified, is also 1/2. So, 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. Naku, Tutor Ruel, bakit kaya nagkamali? Baka yung sa prime number na isama nila yung 1 sa ating favorable outcomes. Yan. Ano
Yes,
nga yung
boss.
prime number, Tutor Ruel?
Okay. Pag sinabi nating prime number, it is a number whose factor is 1 and itself. Maliban po sa 1 kasi 1 is neither prime nor composite. Ngayon, since magro-roll ng die, so we have 1 to 6 lang naman. Kaya ang mga prime numbers hanggang 6 ay 2, 3, 5 lang naman po. So mayroong 3 out of 6. Kaya 1/2. 1/2 times 1/2, 1/4 po. Now, how about the last question, Tutor Joy?
Okay, for the last question, Tutor Ruel, 2 cards are drawn from a deck of 52 cards. We have to find the probability of drawing a numbered card first and followed by a jack if there is no replacement. Mathletes, let's take note of this. No replacement. So identify, are these events independent or dependent? And highlight natin probability of drawing a numbered card first. So ano-ano ba yung mga numbered card? We start from 2 hanggang 10. Tapos there are 9 numbered card for each suit. Then it will be followed by a jack. Ilang jack ba meron sa standard deck of cards? At again, no replacement. So these are our options. Is it A, 1/169, B, 8/169, C, 12/221, or D, 8/663? Very challenging, Tutor Ruel.
Yes po. Actually, medyo mahirap po ng konti. Pero isa-isay natin numbered card first. So we have 2 to 10. So 9 yun lahat. Tapos since may 4 suits tayo, 9 times 4 is 36. 36/52. Sunod naman, ilan naman yung jack sa deck of cards? May 4, di ba? May isang jack pero since we have 4 suits, 1 times 4, we have 4. Kaya lang, no replacement, hindi na ibabalik yung mabubunot. Instead na 52 ang denominator, magiging 51 na lang. So in short, ang imumultiply nyo mathletes ay 36/52 times 4/51. So medyo mahirap ng konti kasi medyo malaki yung number. So again, okay lang gumamit ng calculator pero much better if you will do it manually. Okay po? Magsusolve talaga gamit ang pen and paper. Again,
So magagamit
huwag
talaga
aasa
yung
kay
common
calculator.
factor.
Yes po.
Yes. Yan, may mga sagot na sila dito, Tutor Ruel. Most of them answered letter C for number 5. Now let's reveal what is the answer for number 5. We have Wow,
Wow!
good
So,
job.
lahat ng mathletes, tama po yung sagot. That is letter C. Sino-sino sila? We have Archie, Harchie, Jay, Faith, Aubrey. Sino pa po? Pia Bon, Mark Ryan, James, Warren, Cedric, John
Tresha.
Carl. Okay, sino pa po?
Tresha, Jay, Faith, Mark, Ninya, Warren, Cedric, Ria Ninya, Herbie, and Jillian. Very good po, Tutor Ruel.
At marami pa po yan. Hindi na lang po natin nabasa yung ibang names. Okay po? Pero again, very good po. Ngayon, nakailan kayo mathletes? From 1 to 5,
Ayan.
ilan po yung nakuha nyo? Sige nga.
Palagay naman po
Okay.
ng scores.
Alam ko po, Tutor Joy, most of them get a perfect score. Kung hindi naman perfect, 4 or 3, pero still
One
very
mistake.
good pa rin sila. Di ba? Very good pa rin.
Yes. At dahil ganyan yung mga scores nila, Tutor Ruel, ayan o, 5/5. Yan. 4/5, matataas ang score nila. I think they are now ready for this week's math challenge because our mathletes are always matibay. Now, let's
Yes.
get ready. Pwede nang screenshot at i-take note. What will be our math challenge for the week? Yan. Go, Tutor Ruel. We have
Okay, so a jar contains 5 blue balls and 3 red balls. 2 balls are drawn at random from the jar, one at a time without replacement. Now, we will find the probability that the first ball drawn is blue and the second ball is red. So again, what is the probability that the first ball drawn is blue and the second ball is red? Nakalagay without replacement. Kung hindi ibabalik yung ball, so yung denominator ng second probability, mababawasan po ng isa. So yun yung hint. So, Tutor Joy, again, I would like po to congratulate once again ang dalawang mathletes po na sumagot, nag-take ng challenge. We have Jovan Austria and Harchi Dansalan. And also, Tutor Joy, gusto ko rin pong batiin at i-congratulate kasi sinubukan niya ring sagutan yung math challenge natin. Hello sa iyo, Enrico Dalupan from
Ayan.
Virgen de los Flores High School, SDO Bulacan. Ang teacher niya po ay si Teacher Luisa Marquez. Hello po sa iyo, Enrico Dalupan.
hello, Enrico. Thank you for answering our math challenge of the week last session 5, no? Last episode. So, mukhang sinubukan niya sumagot at talagang nag-solve siya using your techniques, Tutor Ruel.
Yes po. This time, Tutor, sigurado ako mas marami pang makakakuha ng math challenge natin this time. Again, i-post lang po. Don't forget to write #math10challenge, #tutorabhil, #tutorwell, and #tutorjoy. And also, saan po sila magsasubscribe, Tutor Joy?
Ayan, Tutor Ruel, ang ating mga mathletes, parents and teachers in different math husay schools, we ask you to share and like and also subscribe our social media platforms such as our Facebook page, DepEd ETUlay. Same name din po sa ating Facebook group. At syempre sa mga nanonood po palagi sa atin from YouTube channel, we also have DepEd ETUlay YouTube channel. Now, Tutor Ruel, remind natin sila sa mga nagpo-post po ng answer, bukod sa pangalan, pangalan nyo, pangalan ng teacher, pangalan ng school, at ang inyong sagot, plus the hashtags, don't forget to set it in public. Baka kaya minsan hindi rin natin nakikita ang answers nila, naka-private, tapos hindi pa natin sila friends sa Facebook or hindi pa tayo connected sa isa't isa. Then there's also another option to join our official group chat for Math10 ETUlay learners. So magsabi lang po sa amin if you wanna be added in our official group chat.
Yes po. Thank you, Tutor Jay, for the reminders. And also, pag nagko-comment din po sila, much better po kapag nakalagay yung name ng school, name ng math teacher, name ng SDO. Okay po? So, para malaman din po natin. So, it's good to see na marami po yung nagpa-participate sa ating ETUlay tutorial in Mathematics 10. So, once again po, from SDO Camarines Sur, I'm Tutor Roel, your math coach in Math 10.
And from SDO Caloocan City, this is Tutor Joy Villarreal, always reminding everyone that learning math is more fun when you can see and appreciate its beauty. It's another fun learning with you mathletes. So, see you all next week. Happy weekend!
Yes, happy weekend po. See you next Matalino Day, Friday, from 3:40 to 4:20 p.m. Thank you po.
Thank you po and bye!
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!